Everybody come on in. See if we can get everybody in here. As you guys can tell, I am driving home from Wenatchee. I had an amazing clinic over there. 2-day beginner clinic, 11 horses, super fun. A really good time. It was really interesting. I've said before that a lot of times the horses, I break it up into 2 days, okay? And I do the first half of the horse on the first day and the second half on the second day. And the second half was the day this weekend. So that was really interesting. There weren't a ton of releases on the first day. So it was kind of like, all right, well, everybody show up tomorrow because I think that's when the magic's going to happen. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Okay. So another cool thing is that we had a lot of Mustangs. We had a fair amount of Mustangs. Some were quite young. So that was really fun. They did really well. And then we also had some older, kind of been worked hard horses. Been worked hard. They got that real big, thick build, real thick shoulders, real thick glutes. I had one horse that we unleashed tension that had been stored in his body from who knows when. Because that poor horse, it was all in his hamstrings, actually. I haven't had a reaction to the hamstring work like this particular reaction before, and it was phenomenal. He blew out and sneezed for like, I don't know, 10 minutes straight. It was unbelievable. I've never had a horse do that like that for that long. So that was really exciting and really fun. And I'm pretty sure that horse is taking a nap as we speak because that was a lot of work on his body. Sent out a message. I'm kind of noticing some similar problems. I need you guys to back your butt up. I should make a song about it. We can sing a song as we do this. I need your arms straight when you're doing leg range of motion. I need you to back your butt up. I don't want you pulling the leg with your upper body or arms because it's going to be way too hard. But you can have the hand that's holding on to the hind foot, that whole arm can be straight and you just back your butt up. Your butt should be by the horse's shoulder when you're done. Okay, should be by the horse's shoulder. So what homework? Yeah, you guys thought you were done. You're wrong. We're not done. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna do a free week. Okay, free for all. It's whatever you want. So if you want more help with the leg range of motion, if you want more help with lateral flexion, if you want help with anything, this is your chance. Okay, so we have a free card for this week. And we'll kind of go through those. I think that'll be fun because then we'll be able to see a whole bunch of different stuff. Anything you think you struggled with, go ahead and shoot up a video for that. And that'll be really good. I today just because I think I'm going to dip down into a little canyon thing and you guys might lose me. So Stephanie and Kristen are my co-hosts today, my marvelous co-hosts. Stephanie is going to go over some video. We did a one-on-one session, and we did a one-on-one session on Mag, super fun. So we're going to go over, Stephanie is going to bring up some clips for that, and she's going to go over what she liked about the one-on-one session and kind of let you guys see some of that. Okay, so here, take it away, Stephanie. I am now a willing participant in this. Just going to listen and not talk. I should mute myself.
All righty. So can everybody see me and hear me? Thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Yay. All right. Well, the experience that I had with Erin last Tuesday with Flash was pretty remarkable. He's the horse with the curved back that had the tight stretch marks on his neck that I worked out. And now we're progressing to the back. And, one of the biggest takeaways that I uh, commend Erin with is she was like a translator. She interpreted the things that I couldn't see or feel. And when we're doing all these new techniques, a lot of times, she would say, "Do you feel it? Do you feel it?" And I could kind of feel it, but when I played back the videos, it was so obvious. I was feeling it, but she was interpreting what Flash was trying to tell me on every little affection that we did. The nice thing about having that one-on-one session with her was that with her experience, of doing it all these years, she was able to like build on what I knew and say, try this to get a little bit more out of him. And I kind of equated it to like riding a horse, where you hold your reins. Just moving it 2 inches forward on a reiner means something totally different. And I found that to be the same. We're doing some of the affections. So one of the Flash, so Flash, every single time I do the jaw release on him, you might remember months ago how he did those big ugly yawns for like, it seemed like 2 or 3 minutes. He still does that. And, if I don't have time to work him completely over, I generally always grab a hold of his mouth and try to do some jaw releases. And, she says, yeah, it should not be taking that much time. So let's see, where did I go? 6:45. I'm going to show you a little video so you're not just looking at me. Go back here. And then, she recorded this too, so that I get to watch this over and over. I think this is like the third time that I've got to see it. So, let's see, hit play. So here's us doing the jaw release. And she just confirmed what I was thinking. She told us last week to have confidence in ourselves, and having this one-on-one kind of confirmed that. She says, yeah, he shouldn't be having that response every single time.
Pretty good.
I guess I have to turn you down. I don't know how to turn. There we go. So, there we go. Can you hear me when I turn my volume down? Okay. All right. Good deal. So we're on this, and, she's watching him, and not every yawn's the same. We've talked about yawns. Like, I don't know a good yawn or a bad yawn, I guess. And so she said, we got to work a little bit deeper. So she thought, let's try the hyoid. And, that's when the tongue hold to help him release the hyoid. Cause it's like he's trying to release, but he just can't quite get there. So she had me do a couple of different techniques, and it was really fun to be able to do that tongue release, having her watch over us. Let's see, where did I go for the tongue release? I think it goes to 15. Let's see. That's kind of scary, because we've talked about how sensitive that hyoid is. And so again, we're sticking that tongue in there and trying to see what we can get, I think. Yep, here we go. So what was really cool is that if you notice him right now, do you see how he's really pulling that tongue in and out, in and out, in and out? It just never slows up. And so when we got to the other side, she says, does that feel, more relaxed? And I'm like going, what do you mean by more relaxed? I'm not trying to pull his tongue out. I'm just trying to hold it. But even like looking back, when I go to the other side, it's definitely not, I don't know if I wrote the time on that, but let's see if I can get a quick little snippet.
Hey, Stephanie, when you have a chance, make that full screen so they can see it a little better.
So just kind of watching how he kind of settles in on this side. So it's kind of erratic at first, but do you see how much slower that is? He's just not bopping it back and forth. So that was really cool to be able to experiment with that on him to try to find some release. And she started by just going over the entire horse just to, she wanted to evaluate where he's at as well. So we kind of, after we did a couple more maneuvers, she says, I think it's in the pole. And he didn't quite release when we were doing the pole technique. And that was a little bit further. Let's see, 29. I don't think we've went over that in the videos, the online clinic. Is that correct, you guys? I don't think there's a pole release on that. I think Masterson does a pole release. And I'm getting there. Sorry, guys. Okay, so it's where I'm going to hold my hands over his forehead, but just like I had never been told or knew, I guess I overlooked it, that if I'm trying to release that right side, my right, I'm going to move my hips over to the right. And I'm just trying to get him to sink in. And he just has a hard time to, relaxing into it. I did go out and since Tuesday, I've tried to manipulate all these things. At least today was the third time I've done it. And Erin had suggested just like Georgia, she has a hard time with this particular release. And if she gets on a fence and puts George's lap in her head on her lap, that the horse will release. And so what I did is I got on a mounting block much higher because he's like a good 16 hands today, and he kind of melted into it. But one of the techniques that Erin was trying to show me in that one-on-one session is, how her famous word, she needs shirts that says jiggle jiggle. And I'm pretty sure on the back it's going to say, back your booty, because those are the two things that she's told us this week is back your booty, back your booty. But the jiggle jiggle was just, do you remember several weeks back, she talked about just bouncing your knees? Started hopping, and what she told me is just bounce your knees to try to, that's your jiggle when you're in that type of a position. So those one-on-one sessions, that's the beauty of them. It's, submitting your video is great. And I've learned a ton from the videos, watching myself and others. But in real time, you really get, I think, a lot further because you can see if it works and if it doesn't. And she, just opens her toolbox, and I only have 2 tools in my toolbox. She has the full Husqvarna, long bed full of tools that she can pull out at any minute, and they all seem to work for her. So, but that was a really cool thing, doing that pole release. Haven't done that in a while. And then he's kind of, he tends to overbend. So we went to the range of motion on the neck. Now let me see where my notes went on that one. Pull release, scapula, lateral flexion. Okay, lateral flexion. I have to maybe go back for that. So
Can you make
we've been taught the jiggle jiggle and trying to get them to kind of keep their ears level as they go around, to find those release points.
Hey, Stephanie.
But what we found with my little problem child is that he is kind of leading with his cheek. And so just moving, oh, I have a raised hand. You might as well just jump, just shout it out.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
problem, but they should also be able
I
to
can't
twist
hear
their
you
head
with.
and
Oh, say, Kristen, go again.
Okay, could you make your screen bigger?
Oh, that's a good suggestion, huh?
Erin said it earlier, and
Oh,
I just don't
perfect.
think you
Okay.
heard it. So
No, I
wanted to
did, because
make sure you
when I
got it.
turned my volume down, sorry about that, guys.
That's okay.
all
No
right.
big deal. I just want to make sure you got it.
So what we found with not little Flash, but Big Flash, is that with him leading with his pole or his cheek first, he tends to want to overflex. And so again, she pulled out a new tool of where to kind of put my hands. I have to go back on this, and it's all right. So what she suggested is, nope, I guess I didn't find it there. That's not that one. is to put my hand over his nose and pull it up towards my chest as I'm getting him to go down. And that was really good. 24:48. They're right. That's where I need to be. Sorry. So can you see how far around I'm pulling his head there? I have it on the other side and I'm really kind of over exaggerating. Do you see it now? Right there, right there. That's when he starts releasing. That's when we got it. But if I would have kind of tried to keep his ears, we wouldn't have got that release that we were looking for. So that was a huge win for him, you know, just these little spots that Erin can identify so quickly. But there's just like with every little maneuver, just trying to find tracing the scapula down very slowly and finding those trigger points and having the conversation with Flash, him telling me, yeah, stay there longer. There's something there. Do I have homework? Absolutely, I have homework. But one of the biggest takeaway that I appreciated the most was her ability to differentiate the needs of Flash compared to, you know, most horses. Trying to stretch out that tight part of his hind end from the ribs back, pushing them one way and then pulling the on the other way, on the other side. Does that make sense? So on the side that he's tight, I'm kind of pushing the ribs back where they need to be going. And she helped me get in the correct body position, which makes such a world of difference. You know, I can be more effective. And then when I turned, so Flash's left hip is going further forward. So when I'm on his left side, I'm trying to push that hip back so that it kind of aligns to the right. But then when I go to the other side, his right, I'm pulling the tail and kind of creating this pivotal point and pulling it so that I'm pushing the side that's sticking out that has all the tension back in place. And she called it the clutch game. You know, when you pop a clutch, how you go forward. That was really finesseful of trying to hold his tail, pushing, and I should be showing a video of it. I'm so sorry. Let me find my notes. Scapular release, the popping the clutch. Okay, here we go. I'll end on this one because this one was really kind of cool. It's just like when you have a clutch, you got to really be able to feel when you're going to pop it versus, you know, easing out on it slowly. So I'm warming up. This is the side that kind of bows out. And I would tell you that in January, if I would have went to touch him right there or pound, he would have been gone. Because that muscle right in front of the flank is so tight, and it's part of his problem. So here I'm gonna squeeze it forward just a little bit.
Okay, your right hand, and then your left.
Oh, she's trying to explain it to me there. I guess I didn't have the right number. Okay, so right there. So see how I'm pushing with my right hand, and I am, get that out of the way. I'm pushing with the right and I'm pulling with my left hand, his tail. And when I create too much tension, he walks out of it. So the first time I popped the clutch, and then as we worked through it, I could ease off the pull of the tail and he would stay with me. And I feel like we got somewhere with that. So I'm going to continue building on some of those great moments that we had in that one-on-one session. And then I think next time we meet, which will be this next Tuesday, we're going to try to do some more tail work. I've been doing the tail pulls, very successful, but I'm just kind of letting this thing run out. Unfortunately, I can't see me in the screen because the view of you guys is all blocking it. So I have no way of really actually seeing me and the horse because we're all blindsided here. So I don't know. Do you guys have any questions?
Stephanie, why don't you show them the homework video on YouTube that I gave you? And just let
Okay,
that,
let's get out of
and
that. Yep, that's a
yeah,
good one. Okay.
you play it and just let the volume go so people can hear
Okay.
my instructions.
All righty. Erin. There we go. I'm trying to move it so I can see. Yeah. Still have to move it.
So I created a video for Stephanie based off of our one-on-one that's very specific to her and to Flash. So this is specifically for her to build on between our sessions so that she can kind of do some homework and what I'm going to be looking for next time we meet.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Sorry. Stop.
Nice turn, Steph.
Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, guys. Come on, go up, go up, go up. Oh, here we are. Sorry.
All right, Stephanie, here is some homework I want you to do. So I already had you do this one.
Everybody hear
You got
that?
the tail. You're doing this, okay?
That's popping the
this is what
clutch.
you should do that one. Just wait till they start to relax into it. There, she just kind of gave a little bit. There, she gave a little bit more. There. Okay, and then you can do a little pull. Now, your pull is gonna need to be bigger than that one because
Mine's
the
two-handed.
situation you have going, okay? Wait, see if she does something. So the next one I'm gonna have you do is gonna be similar, but it's gonna incorporate more of the body. So with that one, I'm being really specific about the part that I want to bend. So if my hand is here and I'm pulling her butt that's attached to the spine this way, the pivot point's right here, right? And that's where your boy needs to kind of have a little adjustment, right? So you can also kind of work your way forward and see if there's any other areas on their body that are kind of hung up. So she flexed pretty good all the way, flexed pretty good all the way. But you might find some spots where they don't move very well, and so you want to just focus on those, but you have to go in real soft. You have to go in real kind of soft and smooth. It's kind of like a finesse. And then you just, on the last one, you just kind of give it a little bit more, okay? And then another way that you can do this one, this is kind of the third version here. Depending on how long your horse is and how long you are. I mean, that's awesome. I don't know if you can tell, but her whole body just kind of went, okay? Now, your boy's not going to be able to do that as well as that, okay? Because he is stuck going one way. So what you're going to want to do, he's going to probably walk. They almost always walk when they're uncomfortable with that. So you're just going to hang out with him. You're just going to stay with him. You're just going to kind of back off. And then when he stops his feet, you're just going to real slowly go back into it, okay? Let's try her on the other. Oh, thanks. Let's try her the other direction here. You have to do these on both sides. One should be a lot easier than the other. There you go. Okay. You have to stand like kind of square, my love. I know. You don't like to stand square, I know that. I know. How's that looking? A little wonky in the back there. A little wonky. You don't pick that foot up and make it square for me? That's not square. Okay. So this side, hand here. So I probably want it more forward. So, because you want the pivot point to be here. So if you have your hand here, that's not the pivot point. Well, she got a little more uncomfortable with this one. You're more uncomfortable with this one? Okay. So put your hand up here more. Okay. And then just slow. Oh. Oh. Good girl. Good. There, she's resisting. So I'm going to stop. And I'm going to wait for her to relax. Still resisting. Still resisting. There, she just gave. Okay. So you have to be real slow. What do you think about that, Peach? Yeah, that one was a little harder, wasn't it? Who would have known? Who would have known? Pretty equal, girl. Pretty equal. Okay. So now tail and face. Don't step on that. Good. Good. There it is. Perfect. Okay. So obviously you can tell the difference in how much she was struggling to do it this way than compared to the other way. All right. So there's some of the homework that I wanted you to do. And then I'm going to just show you, because I was doing it again today on a horse. Thank you. One more. Thank you. Thank you, honey. So she's a little pulled toward me. I don't know if you can see that. So sometimes I'll come, when I was saying come over the mouth, you know, I normally teach this. I mean, like come over it like this, like that. So try that too. Because then you got a real nice hold of them. Oh, her neck just popped. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah. Yeah, that was good. Because what I'm really looking for is I want this freed up like that. Okay. So I come all the way over, bam, 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 bam. Now I wouldn't normally want to do this because that's too much. That's over flexing, but when they're stuck, you gotta get them, you gotta break them free somehow. I. She says, don't make cartoon noises with me. I'm sophisticated. You are sophisticated. We were doing, I might be doing flags for the rodeo this year, and we were there and there was a new horse there. It was a gelding. And that was his first time there. He did really well. But he like at one point in time, we were all lined up and we got done. The owner went to back him up and he like reversed into Georgia, like backed into her. And the look she gave was so funny. I almost died. She was like, she's funny. Okay. I'm gonna do it on her side. You know, she was like, excuse freaking me, sir. Did you not see me standing there? Okay, so when you go to do the nose and it's still not turning as much as you'd want, you slip that hand over. Now she's stuck right here. So I'm just gonna hold, jiggle, hold, jiggle. Yeah, there you go. And then you can kind of get to the point where you're doing that. All right, there you go. I think that's the homework I gave you. Was there something else? I can't remember. I hope that's enough. Bye.
Okay, so one thing, I can't tell if my Zoom is getting slow or what, but one thing I want you guys to know who are watching this is that this was a custom video just for Flash, okay? This was based off of our one-on-one session. So this is for him. Now, these are all moves that you can, I obviously did them on Georgia, so you can do them on your own horse, but this was based off the information that I got from Flash in our one-on-one. So just keep that in mind. You can kind of try this stuff on your horse, but I don't have a lot of oversight on that, and I haven't taught you properly how to do it. So I don't really want people trying a bunch of crazy stuff that I do on the side. So this is specifically for Flash, but that's some homework that I gave her so that she can work on it before our next session and see how it goes. She's going to have an idea of what I'm going to kind of be asking of her, if that makes sense. All right. Does anyone have questions on that? Let me know if anyone has questions because I can't see the screen. Or you can just unmute.
I'm going to stop sharing that, okay?
Yeah, perfect. There we go. Okay. If anyone has questions, let me know. Or if you have questions at all from this week, let me know. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just say again, though, that the differentiation that you provide on a one-on-one, it's so valuable because you work with the skills of the handler and the limitations of the horse and the issues that they're having. And I just felt that that was really valuable.
Excellent. Yeah, you did a great job. I feel like also the clinics are really good for that. So if any of you are interested in doing a clinic, it's kind of similar. It's the same program, so you guys would be really familiar with it. If you want to do a clinic, you need about 10 people to commit. That's the hard part, getting them to commit. But we can get something set up also, or if you want to do a one-on-one, I will put that link on the community page again. There's 4 options. You can get 1, 2, 3, or 4 and go from there. But they're fun, and I've learned how to record them properly now at this point. So now we have a better package going on. All right. All right, so you guys get a free-for-all this week. You can send me anything you want, anything you're struggling with. Next week, I'm going to have a really cool video to go over as long as I can get permission from the owner of this horse to show this. It's very interesting. You guys are going to like it. And then we will discuss what we're going to be doing moving forward. Okay, and that'll be fun. So go check out your horses, see how it goes. If you have issues with any of them, make a video and then send it in and we'll go over it. All righty? Next to my lovely co-host, you're hired. I don't pay much, but you're hired. Have a great weekend. Bye.